Here we go, here we go, here we go. I'm trying to find my own music, y'all. You know how it goes. This is Nick Smith coming to you live. I want to try to make sure that every time I do this, I do it consistently so that you know when it's coming, so that you know that you can get that daily dose from me there, whatever it may be. Right now, I know I still got that little programmer up for you there, so I'm going to go ahead and bring myself in here so you can see that it really is me just talking to you. And I am going to come up with my own theme music, I promise you. But for right now, we're just going to see if this works. Woo! Y'all know this? Y'all don't know this. Y'all too young. Don't know nothing about this. So give us a little music while we get things set up here. Again, went out earlier today, had a chance to talk with students at Career Day, and it was fantastic. I met up with my colleagues Indira, who is a photog here, and she works with Tucker Barnes every day. So she and Tucker were out there at McCullough Elementary School. Wisdom Martin joined us, and it was just a great opportunity. So what I will do daily is try to figure out either bring in what we've been talking about, what we plan to talk about later on in the show. Yesterday I had a chance to introduce you to Risa, that's what I want to do here. Baby, come back. So anyway, I'll get that queued up right for the next time when we do this. And I also got your feedback about the length of the show. I will always try to make sure I keep it right at 30 minutes. So I am setting my timer because there are little tricks that one can use. So I'm just going to set my phone there so I can keep a time on how long we're going. If you can give me 30 minutes, I will do my best to make sure that I keep it interesting and engaging for you. So today, what I want to do is I want to go ahead and start with what we always start with. I want to go ahead and bring up the rundown so that you know what we're talking about today. And a couple of things. We're going to talk about my school visit because I really did enjoy it. Kristen McCullough Elementary School in Montgomery County, fantastic. And I told you this before. We really do try to get to Montgomery County, Prince George's County. People see us as only DC, and we're more than just DC, you know, so we have no problem getting out of the city. All you got to do is let us know where you want us to be, and let's talk about some story ideas that we can do out there. And we got invited out this particular time because it was their career day, and it was amazing seeing these young folk all excited about what it is they think they want to do or might be interested in. One of the things that impressed me the most, believe it or not, was they had the group out there from Chesapeake Bay Observatory or Chesapeake Bay Marine Life, and they really just talked about the importance of the ecosystem, why it matters that we have fresh, clean water, and why we protect that for the creatures who inhabit that water and keep it fresh for us there. So there's just so much. And working with my colleagues out there allows me an opportunity to see how they navigate different situations. So I'm always learning, and that was one of the questions that came up, and I'll share more about that when we get into that. So let's talk about that school visit. Let's talk about what's up week. What's going on with you all for the weekend? What's going on? I want to know. I like when you slide in the DMs at Nick Smith News on Instagram or at Nick Smith News on Twitter. And you can always email me too at nick.smith@foxtv.com. But I like it when you reach out, when you let me know what you enjoy. I appreciate the comments yesterday about, or day before, about the yellow sweater and it being springtime because it started to get warm again. So I appreciate all that. I really do. I also appreciated meeting some of the people today who told me that one of the things they look forward to the most is not knowing what we're going to talk about. So I will try to give you a preview, but I won't tell too much. And then what makes it even more interesting is that I never know where it's going to go anyway. That's the idea behind having 4 very different opinionated hosts, right? That we engage, keep it feisty and festive without ever being rude. Because you do not want to turn on the TV at 7 p.m. seeing folks argue. We know that. You ain't got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. All right, so we can go ahead and take down that. You don't need to see that anymore, right? Nah. You're like, Nick, okay, I get the idea of the rundown. What's up week weather? We'll do a little like it or not preview. Viewer email. I got a great viewer email about competing with friends. Woo! what is that all about? Competing with your friends? They're your friends. You shouldn't be competing, right? Well, not so fast. So that's the idea. And then I want you to remember to like and subscribe below. Um, I was talking about one of the things I always talk about, rather, is how much I love brunch, right? Like, brunch is my thing. So I'm always trying to find a different brunch spot. Now, mind you, that works completely counter to me trying to make sure that I also don't overindulge continuously, because I like food, but I also am committed to trying to be my healthiest self. But I'm in no means, by no stretch of the imagination, a health fanatic where I either judge how others navigate their weight protocol, but I do try to move and work out regularly. Heart disease, unfortunately, runs pretty heavy in my family, so I just try to make sure that I am really good about trying to stay active and just doing something regularly so that I can be my healthiest self. And I like being moving. I like being agile. I like having the flexibility, and I like knowing that at any time I can drop and knock out 15 push-ups. And most adult men can't do that. Actually, I can do more than that, but I know I can do 15 without even thinking about it. My pacing may change if you challenge me to 30, but I can easily do the 3 sets of 20, whatever. So one day I may have to challenge one of my colleagues to that, just so you all can see that I'm not just running my mouth talking. So that's my promise to you for Monday when we come back and do this, that I will have a theme song. I will have it cued and ready. And I think I like that, baby, come back. Hey, yeah, 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 you can blame it on me. I don't know why. I've always loved that song. I know. It just works for me. So we were talking about the school visit, and I just want to show you a couple of pictures from that. That, again, it was great. It was just a fun time. I had a chance to be interviewed. The students, they turned the mics on me, asking me questions about, well, why do you like what you do? How long have you been doing it? When did you know you wanted to be a reporter? And what college education did you have to do it? There were some really good questions coming from these students about what it takes. They were throwing them at Wisdom as well, and they were throwing them at Tucker. Hey, what does it take to do what it is that you do, and how can I do that? And I honestly want to say I think most were probably most impressed with Tucker and Wisdom because they see them every morning. You know, they are watching Good Day before they get to head out for the bus stop, or are waiting to see, is the school going to close today because of snow? So they have a built-in fan base. So literally watch the kids. As soon as Wisdom walked into the gymnasium, it was like a rock star had joined us, and that was because Wisdom also coaches youth basketball. So because he coaches youth basketball, most of the and he lives near there in Montgomery County. Most of the kids knew him from the league, teaching young boys and girls, and he's really involved in Boys and Girls Club. So most of them knew him. And one young man, I just have to share this story because it was actually kind of funny. He kind of stepped back from Wisdom when he saw Wisdom, and Wisdom was like, "What are you stepping back for? You know me." And he's like, "Yeah, but I've never seen you in a tie," because he's used to seeing Wisdom at the gym, running them through drills and everything. And it was just funny because he had not seen Wisdom dressed up. But it was great. It was a good time with the kids. It was a good time just to be around them, be in that energy, and get a chance to answer questions that they had about what it is we do. Is it cool? You know, kids always want to know if your job is cool. Is your job cool? And it is. You know, I think that what we also have a responsibility to do is to let them know that it's competitive, and you know, you really need to know that it's something that you want to do, because it's not often that you have an opportunity to talk to kids directly, honestly, and frankly about the need to go to college regardless of what it is you want to do. I personally don't feel as though um, one is ever shortchanged by advancing their education, right? So I do believe that it is possible to do different jobs and not have gone to college. I get all of that, but I think that you just overall you're at an advantage when you have an opportunity to go to school and work with and learn from different people and be exposed to different groups, different environments. I think it just expands your breadth of knowledge and it affords you an opportunity to really find what you may or may not be interested in and who you are, right? There are a couple of things I think that were interesting here with this. I just want to, again, share a little bit of video with you that I took earlier today, and we can talk about it on the other side. Yes, we can. Go ahead and play it, Nicholas. Let's go. I tell you.
No, I understand. It's all right. How old are you? 11. Nice. Have you thought about college? You have a college you think you like? No, I understand. It's all right. How old are you? 11. Nice. Have you thought about college? You have a college you think you like?
And that was a question I asked every one of those students. I wanted to know, are you thinking about college? If you're not thinking about college, I want you to start thinking about it. I don't think you're ever too young to start thinking about college. Either you might like a team, you may want to go to a particular school because an older brother or sister did, or some show you watch, you've seen somebody talking about college. It doesn't matter what the reason is. I just like it when young people start thinking about college and getting excited about the opportunity to expand their breadth of knowledge with whatever. So the day was not only students. I also had an opportunity to chat and talk with a couple of the administrators and people who helped to facilitate the whole afternoon. It also requires that these teachers and administrators just really orchestrate a full day of multiple organizations, multiple props and people. I was fortunate enough where all I had to do was show up with a microphone and they recognized the mic flag on the microphone and they recognized the personalities. So it was easier to draw and capture their attention. But, we had Montgomery County Fire out there. You had a Montgomery County Police Department. You had the boats that fire and rescue use. They had the mounted patrol. There was so much activity that the kids were beyond mentally stimulated by all the activity and things that they saw. And it was just really, again, it was exciting to be a part of all of that. I also had an opportunity to chat with one of the organizers of the day, and I think she was We'll talk about the interview and all of that I had with her back on the other side of this, but it was just really good once again to be there, and you can see how things are set up. So let's do that when we come back from this. So I'm going to go ahead and start this for you because I just want you to hear what she had to say. This is once again me at Krista McCullough Elementary School in Montgomery County. I'm going to ask that you remember to like and subscribe below. Remember, you can always find me on Instagram and Twitter at Nick Smith News, or you can email me, nick.smith@foxtv.com. Either way, I'd like to hear from you, and just know that I'm going to try to give you this daily dose every day. A little bit later today, like I said, because I was at Career Day for the students. Yeah, here we go. Let's check this out together.
All right, so we're at the career fair at Krista McCullough in Germantown. We have Nick Smith. Hey, the Nick Smith.
And this is what it's all about, meeting the instructors who encourage kids to find about different jobs and careers. What's the whole objective behind all of this?
The whole objective is to really just encourage students to go to college or to choose another career path and just be successful in whatever they like to do. You know, whether it's a newscaster, or they want to save the Chesapeake Bay, or they want to be a firefighter, or really anything. Just not having stipulations, just giving them the chance to experience anything.
And what I love is that I'm seeing men, women, career professionals from every dynamic. Real estate,
yes.
I'm seeing housing, I'm seeing the public sector, I'm also seeing nonprofit.
Yeah, it's all super amazing. This is my second year here at this school and my second year doing this, but this is an amazing turnout. And we really like the ties we have to some of the people as well. We have husbands here, we have wives here, we have best friends.
We have
a lot of people. We have Tucker, yeah. We have a lot of people that really just, want the best for the children, and they want to encourage them to be successful.
Well, Fox 5 is happy to be here, and thanks so much for inviting me.
Thank you.
Students as well, that reporting, having a conversation is all it is. You're simply having a conversation, you're asking questions, but more importantly, you're listening. And I thought that impromptu interview with her really just helped to illustrate that and highlight what it is that we do every day. Hey, what's the best part about your job? I get to meet new people every day. Hey, what's the hardest part about your job? Honestly, the hours. Some of my colleagues have to be here at 3 a.m. I think that would probably be a little bit hard. And then having to, maybe turn around and do other things the next day. So I think that that's the hardest part about the job. When they ask me that question, what do you love about the job? Well, I love the travel. I love the meeting new people. I think that and what was your background? What did you study to do this? I think, so as, again, remembering the audience, remembering the age group, I don't think it's necessary to bog them down with heavy details of, well, first I did such and such. I think you just keep it simple and you tell them college. Because once again, I go back to my default position of, if you engage and you do college, I don't think you have to worry about where you will go, what you will end up doing, because you will eventually meet people and you will be inspired by instructors, and you will have an opportunity to literally figure it all out as you go. You will get a chance to know what it is that excites you and what it is that you find to be amazing, and you will find your own career path. But like I said, the day was about not only answering questions from students about what it is that I do and how it all comes together. It was also an opportunity for a little role reversal. Yeah. So I'm used to pointing the mic at other people, not really used to having it pointed on me. So I think I found an aspiring reporter, and he did an amazing job. And once again, we'll talk about it on the other side. But I want you to meet the competition that continues to get younger and younger. Yeah, that would be TV news because trust me, they keep getting younger and younger.
Fortnite. So, hello, it's James Cooper here at Kristen McCall Elementary. Here with this man. What's your name?
My name is Nick Smith.
Here with Nick Smith. Interviewing Nick Smith. So, how is life for you?
Life for me is good. It's really good when I get a chance to come to Montgomery County Public Schools and be here and talk to students. So I really like this.
You heard him, guys. He really likes it.
And just like that, he was done with me. Yes, he was. But it was good. He was just, it was fun to see him engaged in the process. And I think more than anything, what it showed me was this young man was very comfortable chatting and talking and just literally very comfortable with the idea of interviewing. And this is where I feel like so many young people can benefit, breaking out of that shell of being shy or not really knowing how they want to move and approach and ask a question. He simply asked questions, and he kept going with it there. I just thought he was such a smart, bright young man, and it gives you hope. That's why these things are so important. That's why these things are so important. I have no idea if he will remember this 5 years from now or 5 minutes from now. But what I do know is that just the opportunity to possibly do this with him, someone may have seen it, someone may have been touched by it, and known immediately, oh, wow, James got to do that with that Nick guy. I don't even remember his name, but that's something I'd really like to do. That looked really, really cool. I know how I got, I remember Bryant Gumbel and Jane Pauley doing the Today Show and thinking, wow, Bryant Gumbel is one of the smartest people I've ever seen. I just thought I was just so impressed with the way he delivered, the way he spoke, the way he carried himself. And remember, I'm a little bit older, and we didn't have that many black faces doing television news at that level at that time. So I was immediately impressed and inspired. It's something that has resonated with me, and possibly this is something that will resonate with that young man. So that's why these things are so cool, and I just love being a part of them. The toughest part, I think, with all of that, oh, wrong one, you don't need to see all that. I think the hardest part about all of it is simply making sure that you are speaking in a way and delivering information that really connects with them, because you don't want to go off into a tangent and it not be something that clearly just resonates with the young people. So the group and I had a good time. The team says that, you know what, this is something we think we'd like to do again next year. And God willing, if I'm here and if I'm allowed to go, I will be right out there with them. All right, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up. I don't see my colleague Tucker over there or anybody over in the weather department. I would have given you a little peek into weather and told you what to expect. But what I am going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull up an email that I got, because this will be included in Like It or Not later today. Like I'm always encouraging people not only to like and subscribe below where you see us. I want you to like and subscribe below, and I want you to follow me on both Instagram and Twitter at Nick Smith News. And I want to hear your feedback. I want you to tell me what you're thinking. But one of the things I've often done too is I've solicited your advice, I've solicited your feedback, but in that vein, people have also sent to me emails saying, hey, since you all sit there and talk about everything else on Like It or Not, why don't you answer this question? So I got one that I think is pretty good, and pretty good because I thought it was just interesting, and I want you to think about it, and I want you to sound off in the comments below, or hit us up with a reply on what you think, and I'm going to include that. I don't have to use your name and all that. If you want to be anonymous, just simply let me know that. But I usually black out that information anyway, because what I really want more than anything are just the reactions. I don't want to have anybody think that, oh, wow, I never would have told my friends I actually feel that way. So I don't want anyone feeling beside themselves or put upon. All right. But here's a question that I got. And I want you to think about this. Hey, Nick, I have a friend who lives across the country. She's in Cali and I'm in DC. So we're comfortable with each other and speak our minds. But last week I mentioned I purchased something nice for myself. Yes, I splurged. And I could tell her tone of conversation changed to a sort of me too, I can buy that too kind of vibe. Then she starts counting her money on the phone and asks me, how much is 20 times 45? All I said was, don't you have a calculator? But clearly she wanted me to count her money. My question is, how do I let her know I know what she's trying to do, and at the same time let her know my splurge wasn't me bragging, it was a part of my own, it was a pat on my own back for my hard work. So we're talking about that, competing with friends. What do you think about that? It's interesting. No age is given, and it did not say male or female, but let's just go ahead and assume that it's male or female. I think that we tend to talk to our friends, and sometimes we're completely transparent about where we are with things or what we've done or what we've purchased. I almost want to say, and here we go, I understand the question is, how do I let my friend know I wasn't trying to compete with them? I simply bought myself something nice because I've been working hard and I felt like I kind of owed it to myself to do something nice for myself. I totally get that. I think that is a completely legitimate and fair question to ask. But I'm also going to say that I would ask a little bit more information about maybe how your delivery was presented, because it is possible that, the friend received it as you bragging. What was the tone and the tenor of the conversation leading up to that? And the only reason I put the onus primarily on the person who wrote the letter is because I'm going to say to you, I think that we, those of us who write and kind of lead the conversation, I think that we have a responsibility to do our best to test the waters and kind of understand the temperature of the room, if you will. If this is a friend of yours that has been struggling, a little financially tight, or isn't always the best person at receiving information, then I think that maybe you have a responsibility to temper what it is you say. Maybe none of this had been indicated to you before. Let's go with that. Let's just say you had no idea that this would be that reaction before. Then I think you're in an even better place. I think that's when you have the conversation straight up and say, you know what? Last time we talked, I'm not sure you received what I said the way it was intended. Because I felt like maybe you thought I was trying to compete with you or I was bragging about what I purchased. That wasn't the case at all. I just want you to know, maybe I didn't share with you how hard I've been working lately. I have been killing myself extra hours. It's been tough. And you know what? I couldn't really afford it, but I bought that bag or the shoes or those jeans because I wanted it. Yeah, I'm going to worry about that extra 70, 80 bucks that I put towards that next week. But right now, I wanted to have this. And I'm only sharing this with you because I don't want me not being able to share where I am with something that I've done to come between us. So, fall on the sword. Diplomacy is always the best course of action when you don't know what else to do. But be authentic. Let them know that, you know what, I was a little bit put off by what you said in that moment and it bothered me. I have found authenticity always works. It may not always be received the way you want, but I can tell you this from my own experience, and I've been doing this for a while. I'm going to tell you that asking questions, be prepared for the answer because it may not be the answer you want. But if you ask a question, be prepared for that answer and know that if you move in a space of authenticity, it's a lot easier. Saying, you know what, I was a little bit put off by what you did with that because be clear on your intention and be clear on your ask. I was put off by what you said because I think you felt as though I was trying to compete with you and I wasn't. I need to know, you know, I value your opinion, but I also need to know that we're not in a space where we're competing against each other. That is your clear ask. Because if they can't meet you there with that, then I think that tells you something else, and that have to be a different letter. So I think that what you need to do is just be clear on where you are with that, how you felt about it. And again, yes, I'm keeping an eye on the time. I told you I would not go more than 30 minutes. We have 1:12 left. I want to remind you once again to like and subscribe below. I want you to remember to follow me on both Instagram and Twitter at Nick Smith News. I will be back here on Monday. Hopefully I'll take a couple of great pictures and some video stuff that you and I can sound off about. Remember, if you see it on the Instagram, you can go ahead and send me a message. I don't mind talking about it because I will always make sure my behavior is above reproach. Because if it ain't, then I don't have a job. And that's not the way I operate anyway. I always believe this. Don't post anything on Instagram or social media that you can't share with your mama and your congregation. So if you can stand up there in front of church and pastor and everybody else and show them that picture that is borderline thought, then that's on you. That's a different church and a different mom. But I'm telling you, you should feel very comfortable sharing anything that you have on social media to your friends and family. There's 10 seconds left to go. I want everybody to have a safe and blessed weekend. I want you to remember you can follow any of us. We're always on at fox5dc.com. You can also find me on Fox 5's Like It or Not at 7 p.m. Monday through Friday. We replay the episodes. Oh, that's the buzzer. We replay the episodes Monday through Friday at 2:30, and we do a best of on Friday nights right here on Fox 5 DC. Hey, have a great weekend. I look forward to chatting with you next time. This is fun. We're getting there. And remember, we're going to ignore the technical difficulties. Just know that I am trying, and I appreciate you